Good morning, American patriots. We gather here to celebrate our freedom and to commemorate the sacrifices of generations of young Americans and their families. And Captain Ole Pope, thanks to you and your team at the Travis County Veterans Service Office, not only for organizing this Veterans Day, but for honoring our veterans every day with your service. We appreciate it. So we honor 100 years of American military aviation. I think it's one of those days when some of our aviators would say a good time to kick the tires and light the fires. With today's celebration of military aviation, I recall a story from my friend and our late United States Senator Lloyd Bentsen. As a World War II bomber pilot, he returned from a raid and was steadily losing altitude over the Adriatic, having suffered incoming in a heavy way in his raid. His navigator spotted an island off the coast. Unsure of exactly at that point who controlled the island, they decided it was their only chance to make it to the island. With great difficulty, they did that. And as they slid to the stop, they saw women running to them with grenade belts. They were still unsure who was in charge until Captain Benson stepped out of the plane and a fellow yelled, "Aren't you Benson? I sacked groceries for your mother in McAllen." Even when the circumstances are more stressful, there's nothing like a familiar face honoring the sacrifice and saying thanks for your service. One of the joys of my work in Congress is to respond not only with a friendly face, but with deeds as well as words. Yesterday I was out in South Austin at the home of Linda Hudson, whose father survived the Bataan Death March and 3 years as a Japanese POW. Earlier this year, as she researched her father's heroism, our family worked with her to secure his Purple Heart and 8 other medals that I presented to her yesterday. Last month, I did the same for Denise Rogers, the Bastrop daughter of a still living Marine private who was determined that her father would receive the Purple Heart that he secured when badly injured on the same mountain at Iwo Jima on which we see the famous photograph. But for some reason, through all those decades, he never received his Purple Heart. And sometimes the living are confused with the dead. That happened to one vet with whom we worked earlier this year, who couldn't convince, despite his best efforts, either the VA or the Social Security system that he was still alive and entitled to his disability benefits. Another veteran was facing eviction as he recovered from surgery with no income. And we work with him, much as Ole's team does, to secure a temporary 100% rating and ensure that he was not evicted. I met recently with another impressive young man down at Texas State, Matthew Smith, who is able to go to school there only because our new GI Bill for the 21st century covers the full cost of his tuition and monthly stipend for books and housing. Something we recently extended to the survivors of all those lost, the children of those who have been members of our military since the 9/11 terrorism. And though it appears to be moving at a snail's pace, I do still believe that some of us gathered here today will live to see the construction and completion on 35 acres off Highway 71 of the largest Veterans Health Outreach Clinic in the country. That will triple the size we need it. More parking, triple the size of the clinic, double the staff. Someday, I hope. Politics and partisanship should never be a factor in our support for our American veterans or troops. On the battlefield, the military pledges that they will leave no soldier behind. And as a nation, we must continue the pledge that on their return home, we will leave no veteran or veteran's family behind. So today, let us commemorate the service of America's military personnel and remember that those who have given and others who still today are risking their lives for our freedom should be honored. Their sacrifice is immense. Our gratitude is profound. Have a great Veterans Day.